Hi guys, it's me Tiffany, and I'm here to give you an update on my dragon fruit plants. As you can see, I am down to one, two, three plantings, and I think I only have four types of dragon fruits now. I used to be one of these that you would see, honestly, like 10 dragon fruits, but I got a little bit more sensible. They're too big for me to handle, so I'm going to have fewer, but what I do, I'm going to do well. So let's talk about the different varieties that I have here. So we're going to start here with our Shayna dragon fruit. I told you about this fruit in an earlier video where I had ordered it, and it took, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, who knows, getting to me, and it was all shriveled up and dry. I didn't know if it was going to make it, but you can see she's still alive. And if you look closely, right here, right there, and right here, she's pushing out limbs. I also have another piece of this same dragon fruit, Shayna. I think this was longer and it had broken off right here. So the other piece I planted in another pot over here. And if you look at this piece of Shayna, it's hard to see, but I do believe right here at the tip, she's starting to push out a limb. Another dragon fruit that I've only had for about 10 months now is my Townsend Pink. And you can see it starts right here. From here to here, that was the original cutting that the lady sent me. I was really impressed. I got it off of Etsy. And you can see that this spring, she is steadily growing her branches. Hopefully I can keep her growing, and then maybe this time next year, she will be ready to produce fruit. The reason why I got the Shayna and the Townsend Pink is because both of those dragon fruits are self-fertile. I learned the hard way that you need to get a self-fertile dragon fruit. Hence, let's go to the next one over. Physical Graffiti. Now, I've had Physical Graffiti dragon fruit for the better part of a decade now, the plant. But even though I've had this for a better part of a decade, I've only gotten maybe 4 to 5 fruits. And that's why I say it's important that it be self-fertile. So this Physical Graffiti, of course, is not self-fertile. Why does that matter? Because my Physical Graffiti plant is generally my first one to flower. So when she flowers, I don't have the pollen to pollinate her. And I'm having a hard time syncing her up with some of my other dragon fruits. So long story short, I never get any fruit. This is really my last year giving this girl a chance. She's got to wow me this year, or I'm probably going to have to get rid of her. Because even though she's beautiful, I need her to give me fruit. And this last plant is a white dragon fruit plant. It was sold to me as American Beauty. I got it from Wellspring Gardens as a tissue culture, and supposedly it was American Beauty. Well, guess what? Not so much. This is a white dragon fruit. However, I'm not going to complain because there's one beautiful thing about this girl that I didn't even think about at the time that I ordered the original dragon fruit plant. This girl is self-fertile. So regardless of whether I just have her or whether I have her and these others, this girl can set fruit on her own, and she has. So she's given me more fruit in 1 year than this has given me in 10 years. Hence, even though this has a better tasting fruit, if this one doesn't get her life together, she's gone, and I'll keep her. So several years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I had this in my unheated shed back there, the white shed. And she ended up dying right here at the stem. So if you look, all you see is like roots. This was the main plant, but what I thought died. But now that I look at it, it didn't. Like, this is still here and it sent out roots. And even though there's not green down here, she still has enough roots connecting her to the ground to be plenty productive. Another thing that I kind of noticed the other day was this. So I looked down here at the ground, and I started noticing that even though there's no green flesh here, right here she's trying to push out a stem, and it looks like right here she's trying to push out a stem too. So I have learned that even though the flesh, the green flesh of the dragon fruit dies back, that doesn't mean that all is lost. So once I took these dragon fruit plants out of my greenhouse, I fertilized them with a well-balanced fertilizer to give them that boost. And that was at the beginning of April. At the beginning of May, what I'll do is come back and fertilize again. And honestly, I'm going to fertilize these once a month for the months of April, May, June, July, and August. After August, I'm going to stop because you really don't want these putting out fleshy, green, tender growth when winter is trying to set in. Anyway, so round about mid-May, I'm going to do what's called tipping. So what is tipping? Like, I will find the branches, say like this, and I'll cut off a little bit of this branch. And what that'll do is that'll send signals up this branch, to push out flowers. And hopefully that'll help me get more abundant flowering a little bit sooner. Also, the fertilizer, the frequent fertilizer, according to my friend Vin, should help me to get more flowers as well. So this one, my physical graffiti, I will tip. And then this one, my white dragon fruit, I will tip as well. Another thing that I will do while I'm tipping is I'll come and I'll look for limbs I can get rid of. Like, for instance, this limb right here. This is an older limb, and you can see it has damage. A lot of that is like sun damage. I'll put it out here sometimes, and sometimes the sun just gets blazing hot, and it absolutely fries my dragon fruit sometimes. That's why I have it kind of tucked behind my citrus plant. Regardless, I'll find a limb like this that's damaged, and I'll cut this back to about right here. Now, I'm not going to cut it all the way off because this growth, and that growth are coming from this stem. Another thing that I plan to do with my dragon fruit plants is just to keep them as light and airy as possible. Sometimes I see people's dragon fruit plants and they're so heavy. They look like green dreadlocks that are just flowing and flowing. And like, really, once you get a bunch of greenage under here and then more green on top of it, that stuff on the bottom is never going to produce. All it is just sitting there harboring insects and disease or whatever. So I want to keep my dragon fruit plants, honestly, about the size they are now. This is good for me. They're mobile for me. I can get them through the door. They're not terrible. All the extra limbage, like that's been there for years, I'll probably cut off. Another good candidate. This right here. So I look down here and see how it's got a cut right there, and see how it's all just not looking so great. I'll cut that off. And that'll keep this plant light. It'll be renewing itself, because what it does is up here is pushing out growth. Another thing, if you notice, like, it was pushing out growth here and here. Notice I cut those growths off. So my plan in my head, hopefully this works, is to keep the growth pushing out right here from the top where this platform is. I don't really want it to come down here and push out growth, or down here and push out growth, or down here and push out growth, because it's already too close to the ground. So I want my growth, whatever is growing, I want it to be coming from the top where the platform is, so that this can grow out and get as long as possible. And the longer I can get that, the more likely that branch is to give me fruit. I don't want it to be short and stubby like, oh, this one right here. Okay, so that's about it, guys. A lot of information, some thinking out loud, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.